So we hit the road and we are joined by an expert who knows everything and anything there is to know about wine and champagne and bubbly, and that's Natalie McLean. You probably have read about her. You probably read some of her articles in the Ottawa Citizen and the National Post. She's also written a funky book called Red, White, and Drunk All Over. Natalie, we're going to talk about champagne and bubbly. Same thing, but we can't call all champagne champagne.
Exactly, exactly. So the Champenois are really smart marketers. They have trademarked the word champagne. So even though bubblies from other regions use the same methods, the same grapes, they have to be called sparkling wines or bubblies. I think that's pretty smart of those champagne makers.
Absolutely. So when we walk into a store and we're going to buy some bubbly, tell me a little bit about, when we can drink this. It's not just for, weddings and New Year's Eve anymore.
No, right now, actually.
Yeah.
We should nip into it, I think. No, champagne is good for all year round. And people think of it just for the new year, for toasting, as you said, but it's one of the most food-friendly wines on the planet.
Really?
Yeah, it's a wine that you can drink throughout a meal, not just at the beginning. It's great that way.
Okay, so if I'm going to have something for dinner, when would I serve a champagne or a bubbly? What do I marry it with?
Well, you could start off with it as an aperitif to get the crowd warmed up, kind of get the juices flowing conversationally, if you will. And then you could serve it. You could have like a champagne theme if you wanted to. You could serve it all throughout the meal. So if you were having fish or anything, poultry, a lot of dishes that defeat wines, like a quiche or an eggy dish or oysters, champagne will motor right in there and do the job in terms of refreshing your palate and making each bite taste better.
So it's the actual bubbles that make it different than a red or a white, but also enhance your food and your whole experience at the table.
Exactly. The bubbles are part of it. Those lovely pearls slipping up the side of your glass also are like, little wash wipers or whatever inside your mouth. They're really cleaning out your palate and washing away like the fishy taste, if that's what you have, or whatever's in there on your plate. It's just a terrific food-friendly wine.
Now, if I'm going to be serving it and I don't want people to be thinking that they're into this highbrow, swishy kind of fancy schmancy meal, can I do it economically and not embarrass my guests?
Exactly. You don't have to appear cheap.
Okay.
You can come off really, like you've spent a lot of money, but you don't have to. So these bubblies from other regions are about half to a third of the price of champagne. So if we look at the Veuve Clicquot back there, the non-vintage champagne, meaning it doesn't have a year on it, that's going to run you about $60. Still a lot cheaper than the vintage dated wines, which have a year on them, $100, $150. Very expensive.
Okay, yeah.
But you want to save money.
Yeah.
So bubblies from other regions, the one back there from Spain, $15 to $20. Same method, same grapes, just a lot cheaper. California, New Zealand, $30, $25, $30. So you can come off as really caring for your friends and spending a lot without spending a lot.
Can you become sort of a bubbly connoisseur? Some people just drink white, some people just drink red. Is there somebody who would drink champagne with everything?
Absolutely. If you drink enough of it, you can be an expert in anything. They say Marilyn Monroe used to bathe in champagne. So she's also the one in The 7-Year Itch who combined potato chips and champagne, so that shabby cheek.
Yeah, absolutely. People are decorating like that now. Now they're drinking bubbly.
Exactly.
What does it do to the flavor of the food? And does it, and where, like with some reds, you have red meat, and some whites, you have like a white meat or a fish. Yeah. What does this do to the food, and is there a type of champagne that goes with certain foods?
Sure. Well, champagne has a natural acidity. And when I say that, don't think of like battery acid. Ooh, I'm not going to drink that. Acidity is like the salt of wine. It brings forward the flavor in both the wine and the food. So when you've got, well, my husband and I, we're not great cooks, so we're often salting the meals and trying to bring forth some sort of flavor. We usually give up and just have wine instead, or wine to cover up for all our cooking mistakes, but the acidity in champagne really brings up the flavor of food. And that's what makes it, another reason why it makes it such a food-friendly wine.
Wow. Well, now you've got me drinking champagne with just about anything.
Excellent. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Thanks for joining me.
Okay, thanks, Jerry.